Hello, and welcome, my sweet baby darlings, to Season 2 of Late Night with Quiche Lorraine. Oh, we have so many good guests planned for you. But let's get to my first guest of the new season. Shall we introduce Demitrya?
Hello, thank you for having me, Quiche.
Hello, sweetie. We do not know each other at all, do we?
Not one bit.
Oh, then this will be a learning experience. Well, let's get straight to the questions.
All right.
Who are you, and where did you get your name?
Well, I am Demitrya. I've been performing in Knoxville for about 20 years now. And I was trying to figure out what my name was going to be. I had been out to the club a few times. And my best friend and I were driving down the road. We were brainstorming an idea for a name. And he pulls out a notebook and he writes a name down. And he folds it up on a piece of paper and he hands it to me. Now, mind you, I'm driving down the road. And I opened it up and I read it, and it was Demitrya, and I loved it. And it stuck, and it's been that ever since.
Well, do you know where he got that from?
Demitrya was the sister of a villain from the Power Rangers.
Oh, would you have taken the name if you'd known that before?
Yeah,
Or it didn't matter?
I think so.
Didn't matter at all.
It didn't. It wasn't that big of a deal.
What was your first show?
2003 at the Carousel, and they did amateur nights on Wednesday nights. I did My Prerogative by Britney Spears in like a little Hot Topic leather panty suit. It was bad, but it was okay, I guess.
Beyond drag, is there more? Have you done other things?
About 10 years before drag, in 1993, I started my career as a professional independent wrestler in Maynardville, Tennessee. I was 8 years old.
Eight.
I
didn't even know children did that.
Well, they're not supposed to.
Oh.
And it was, I got lucky. My family knew the right people. And, I mean, it was a struggle still. Like, a lot of promoters would not book me.
Who does an 8-year-old wrestle?
Whoever would be willing to wrestle me, really.
Oh.
I mean, I wrestled full grown, like, muscle guys. I wrestled a lot of women when I was a kid.
Oh. That is totally new. I did not know that at all.
Yeah, I'm actually in the, I was inducted in the Knoxville Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2022.
Whoa. Well, what are the similarities between drag and wrestling?
I think the biggest is both have over-the-top characters. We're all an extension of, ourselves to the max. And so there's a lot of conflict, not drama necessarily, but like conflict because egos collide. And there's a lot of that. But it also taught me a lot of work ethic. Which was, something that was a really cool lesson to learn in weird ways. But
was a lot of the drama and the anger, that kind of thing, was that fictionalized for the show? Or was there really people who were your enemy that you couldn't stand?
There were people that I didn't like. But when we go through the curtain, when they announce us out, we are professional. Like, we don't get into, like, actual, like, real fights out there. Because, it's going to look bad on the show. So, it has to go according to plan, and it doesn't always, but it has to go, like, somewhat like it's supposed to keep the show flowing.
What was your character's name in wrestling?
I started off as, God, this is awful. I started off as a little, like, biker kid named Knuckles. And I outgrew that quick and went as Matt Talent. And then, actually, Demitrya. I finished my career out as Demitrya.
Oh, okay. Looking like this?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Well, why did you quit?
It just wear and tear on my body. And, after doing it for 30 years, you get burnt out.
Oh.
I had a lot of other things in life going on that I was just more interested in at the time. I didn't have time for it anymore. And it wasn't serving the purpose that it once was. So I'm not saying I'm completely 100% out of it. I'll never wrestle again. But I wouldn't mind coming back and like doing stints here and there of some kind.
Fun fact about the quiche. I know it's not the same thing, but I wrestled in high school.
Did you?
I was quite good. I won all of my matches by pin.
Wow.
Well, it might be time for a performance.
Okay.
Are you ready for the performance?
I am ready for the performance.
Oh, I have never seen you perform.
Oh.
So,
well, you're in for something.
and I am hard to impress.
I'll do my best.
Well, we shall see.
Yes.
All right. Toddle up and impress me. Oh, my stars and garters. Wow. I'm wordless. I don't know. I will let you take over while I recover and explain what we all just viewed, please.
Well, that was my staple act, my staple number. It actually has gotten me suspended from a lot of bars. But, you know, it's one of the ones that I've kind of like made my own for years now. So,
like a signature.
Signature, yeah.
Signature act.
I do staples and fire, and I used to do snakes.
Ooh, I would not be here now. The quiche does not get near a snake. Or a frog, or a lizard.
She was sweet, though.
Oh, no.
She was sweet.
No, animals with shiny skins. It's unnatural. What from wrestling have you brought into your drag?
I think that the show must go on mentality with wrestling was big. So going into drag, it's kind of like I carried that with me. Because, you know, in wrestling, if you got hurt, you kept going. I mean, injured, you kept going. So, like, with the drag, it's like, you know, anything to make the show work. Anything to make the show progress. And it's not just my own growth, but it's the entire show. Like, I feel like the show's only... A show is only as good as its weakest entertainer. So, I think we all should lift each other up. That's what we did with wrestling.
Oh, very inspiring.
Thank you.
Oh. Did you ever get any injuries while you were wrestling?
Most of my injuries actually came like during drag, but in wrestling, the first one I got, I was training with a guy named Mr. Fuji, and he wanted to teach me a lesson. I was young, very young, so he had me start doing Hindu squats. And he would tell me to do them, and he would walk away and do his own thing. I would do these Hindu squats until he came back. And I ended up doing so many that you could see the blood running down my legs under my skin. Like, it was months before it was healed up. It was awful. That was terrible. But it did teach me a lesson. So
What lesson?
To know your body and stop when your body tells you to stop. Because I just kept going. I didn't know any better. I was just a dumb kid. So.
I would have stopped as soon as he walked away. Let's learn about your family.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No.
Okay.
Let's see. My mother has always been supportive. My dad was extremely supportive of the wrestling. They ran wrestling shows. And when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, actually, the highlight of that induction was not me being inducted. It was the fact that they let me stay in the ring after my induction and induct my parents into the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
And that was in August. And then in February, my dad went to the hospital. And he died in July.
Oh.
So that was like his last big thing. And he was so proud of that.
Oh, that's good.
And there towards the end, he started to accept the drag thing, like, we found things in common with it. He liked to sew, and we talked about costuming and things like that. And in the hospital, he watched my first drag show via phone when I was working at a bar here in town. So,
Well,
that was kind of that closure that we both needed.
oh, that's a sweet story. I'm sorry that happened, though.
Well,
Both of my parents are gone.
it's
Your
hard.
mama still kicking?
She is, and hard. yeah, we're very close. But,
Oh, that's good.
But she can be a lot.
Does she ever come to shows?
Well, she stays home with my dog now more than anything because you can't leave her alone. But yeah, I mean, she'll come out when she can. She knows a lot of the girls or a lot of the entertainers.
You mentioned in the dressing room that you retired from drag at one time.
I did.
When was that?
That was in 2017.
And when did you start coming back?
2020, 2021.
During the pandemic.
No, actually, it was right after the pandemic.
Oh, okay,
So I
okay.
came back right after the pandemic.
Okay.
I think the pandemic is kind of like what pushed me back into it a little bit.
Well, why do you think that was?
That's when me and my dad started talking more about because I took interest in so many things during the pandemic, so I was so bored.
Oh,
I started woodworking. I built rooms in my garage and a studio and started working on the lathe machine and started sewing and making costumes. And that's when we got like just talking about that stuff. And I was like, he never really accepted that. He used to, when I would leave the house, I would have to tell him I was leaving so he could cover his eyes.
oh.
And he didn't. But then, I was like, now he's not like that. I want to remember him this way.
Right.
And not the way that he was. So that was a big part of coming back.
Oh, well, you have such good stories. Instead of making a comic book about the quiche, let's make one about you, too. That's something we talked about in the dressing room. The Quiche Lorraine, the story of the Quiche Lorraine in comic book form. Coming soon. So, this season, to show my appreciation to my guests, I have gifts.
You have gifts?
Aha!
Oh.
Oh, are you ready for your gift? Let me get it.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
I'm stuck to the chair again.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love presents.
A gift from you that I chose from my home. From Keeshington Manor.
Keeshington Manor. That's exciting.
You can't keep the box.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going to just reuse the box.
Can you do that over again? I was having some issues with the sound.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Me? A gift to you straight from Keeshington Manor. I chose it just for you.
Wow.
You cannot keep the box.
Oh, okay. It's a pretty box, though. I love these.
Decorative soaps.
Wow.
And they have been used.
They have. I can see that.
Yeah.
I think there's some hair on that one.
Oh,
that's
the
awesome.
Celebrity bodies that those soaps have rubbed over.
I'm going to take them home and put them in resin.
Ooh.
Yes.
You could probably clone some celebrities off of those.
I mean, some of them look like they're probably you won't even have to resin them. They're pretty much just covered in. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love being generous.
You do so well.
I believe we are finished. How did you enjoy yourself?
I had a blast. Thank you so much.
Oh, so glad you came. And please tell your friends.
I will.
Oh, my babies. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Late Night with Quiche Lorraine. And please stay tuned for more. Bye-bye, my babies.